Hey guys, welcome back to the channel here. Ogre Fat Works. Got another semi-trailer repair. So this cross member, whatever you call it here for the frame, it's pretty well rotted out. It looks like this was originally, I don't know, 3/16 maybe, probably 1/8 inch. And customer requested essentially replace it. So it'd be a lot of gouging and cutting and welding. And there's some cracks on these aluminum hoppers on the back side there that need to be welded up, and wanted some stiffening members added. So stay tuned, there's going to be a lot of work on this. I haven't quite figured out exactly how I'm going to get these out. They're riveted, as you can see, onto this plate. So a couple different options, and there's brackets there and then brackets there. And of course there's air lines everywhere, plenty of places for molten metal to make a mess. So it'll be a job and a half. And as you can see, it's jacked up, tires are off, just to give me some room in there, and go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so I think I figured out a plan of attack to get this beam out of here. I already went through and disconnected all the lines, cut them off. I have to figure out a way that I'm going to put these mounts back on the tubing or something similar. But so I've got these gussets on either side here, and what I'm thinking to get this out would be easier if I take these off on one side, so all on this side, and gouge off the others on this side. And with these gone, I can just slide the beam forward and then push it out. And I'll have to remake these because I'll be cutting them off. But the ones on the back side I'll keep just by gouging out the welds, and I'll keep those there. At least that's the plan. We'll see how good a steel they are. I mean, they look semi-decent, but I'll replace it with 1/4 inch on the other side just so there's something a little meatier. But the problem is too, is I want to slide this beam out, but these rivets are in the way. And what I'm thinking is I can cut this section of the beam out, but it still leaves me with these rivets, and I think I might just drill them out. Maybe drill them out, plasma cut them out, so then that way I can slide the beam over and get it out that way. So that's the game plan, and again, I'll have to see how this plate looks, if it needs to be replaced or not. I'd like to reuse it, but again, it's thinner than what I'd prefer, so we'll see. But that's the game plan for this part of the work, getting the beam out, and then we'll move forward to the aluminum. I got the aluminum pieces in, and we'll do that job as well. But first things first, let's try to get this done. The other thing too is I was thinking of doing the same thing, gouging these welds out to get these brackets off, but I think since I'm not reusing it, I'm going to cut it off anyway. There's a gap back there, as you can see, so I think the faster way to do this would just take the plasma and cut right up through that gap, and then cut here. So essentially they're disconnected. I don't need to gouge anything other than here when I go to put the brackets, new brackets on. But same thing here, as you can see the gap. Slice, then you can get the beam out. You don't have to worry about gouging anything right now. So I don't know, work smarter, not harder. The more I look at it, the more I think about smarter ways to do it, but at some point you just got to start. So update on the progress here. Made some ugly cuts with the plasma cutter. Just trying to get it cut and then I'll clean it up later. Cut out these sections. Ooh, that's hot. And cutting out some plug welds. I started gouging up at the top where those welds are, but I think I've decided, hey, I'm not keeping this tube anyway. It'd be faster to just cut it out. So I'm going to try and save those brackets. If I can't, I'll remake them. Same thing over here. Just cutting out the welds rather than gouging them because we're not going to keep the tube. Cut those welds. Cut those off, and I still have to take care of those brackets over there. I left my glove there just to keep the hoses off the tube. It's getting pretty hot. So we're getting there. Ugly cuts, but I just need it out and then I'll clean it up. All right, let's keep moving. All right, guys, this is where we're at. Cut out all the plug welds, as you can see. Cut out the brackets, both sides, all the way under. What I'm working on right now is these supports. I cut the welds on both sides, but it's just, it's on there really good. So I'm just trying to cut all the way around and clean it up later. Again, on both sides, you can see where I'm cutting through and gonna go in on that side. Those are all cut. I opened up myself a little window to kind of get in on the back side there. That's rotted and cut. So I'm really tearing up my welding blankets. But I've got air lines everywhere, just everywhere. And I'm taking my time because I don't want that plate to heat up too much. So stopping every once in a while, open myself that window here to, like I said, kind of get in and cut everything up. So sorry I'm not filming too much. I'm just throwing sparks everywhere and I'm sure I'd fry my camera. So just kind of giving you guys updates because, like I said, sparks are going everywhere. All right, progress, guys. Got the tube out. And there's the pile of carnage. Just a little bit of heating and beating and prying, and we got it out. I still need to do a lot of cleanup, so these all need to be cleaned up and off the frame. This still has steel of the tube, so that needs to be cleaned up. The ends need to be cleaned up. Got a long way to go, but making some progress here. You know, I find it funny that some people kind of underestimate the challenges and the difficulty in doing things that are relatively simple in concept, where it's like, look, I want you to take this piece, take it off, and then put a new one in and weld it up. How hard can that be? And yeah, it's a lot more challenging than you think, especially if you don't have the right tools. That plasma cutter's really helping me out versus using a torch and grinder. You can do it, but man, plasma's really nice. So all right guys, taking off the end plate here. I was originally thinking about drilling out all these rivets, but I ended up just getting the plasma cutter out and cutting them off, and she pulled right off, but I still got the studs. Thinking about getting Big Nasty out and hitting it with the old air hammer and seeing if they fly out of there. So let's go get the air hammer and see if we can do some damage. Alright, I gouged off all the brackets, including the plug welds. So now I just got to go through and clean those up, clean these up, just essentially go through and clean everything up here. Take a look at what I got, and we can start getting ready to start putting stuff back together. Yeah, just clean everything up and we should be ready to go. So let's get to cleaning. Alright guys, fabricating some new end plates here. So this one's okay-ish, but this one, you can see it's pretty well done for. Backside's not much better, so that definitely needs to be replaced. So I'm just gonna mark these out. I'm gonna give myself just a little bit of extra there to get a heavier weld on it, and using these transfer punches to get the center of the holes and cut it out and drill holes and send it. So let's keep this party rolling. Alright guys, got the first set of holes drilled. Figured it would be easier to drill them first and cut out the plate. Started it by hand with this and then just finished it out with the mag drill. The mag drill is so much faster, but these Kimball Midwest drill bits are really nice. I normally use Norseman Viking and they're pretty good, but these Kimball Midwest are a good bit better. So, as you can see, I've got my little center punches there. I'm just gonna do a pre-drill with a smaller bit, and then come in with actual size, which based on the holes there, they're about 10 millimeters. So I'm using a 25/64, which is pretty close. And yeah, drill out the rest of these holes. I haven't decided if I'm using the plasma cutter or the skill saw, but probably just the plasma cutter is faster, and just zip along the line and call it good. Bolt it up. Bolts will be here tomorrow, and send it. Alright, got the plate on. Bolts are in. I test fitted all the holes and they're perfect. Never works out that good, but that's how you know your layout worked out really well. So, other side, same deal. Got some bolts in there to hold it on. Perfect fit. So, hey, layout was on the spot this time. So, yeah, bolt this up, get the tube in, weld up the tube. I need to make some brackets here. Maybe that's what I'll be working on for the next step, is the brackets there. And keep it moving. But yeah, I'm really pleased with the layout and those plates. I'm glad it all fit up really great. So let's keep it moving. So I got my mounting brackets or reinforcements all laid out. That'll be where the bend is. It's a little bit bigger than the other ones, but I kind of like this geometry be a lot beefier, especially being 1/4 inch plate. So she's pretty thick. So rather than just laying them all out, what I think I'm going to do is just cut this out, make sure I'm happy with the fit before I bend it, and just trace this piece for the other 3 that I need for a total of 4. And once they're good, I'll do some holes for plug welds and then bend it, or bend it and then do the holes. I don't know, but that's what I got laid out. Let's cut it out, get the other ones, keep the ball rolling. All right, so there's the plate all cut out with a bend line, still pretty warm. Got it nice and clean. For the sake of time, I'm going to save you guys from watching all the other plates cut out, but that's how I'm doing it. Alright guys, got all the plates cut out, cleaned up, bent up, and for this you need 2 plates bent in one orientation, the other 2 bent in the opposite orientation. So just going to go ahead and bend these bad boys up and keep it moving. Alright guys, got the solid wire and the dual shield out, welding it up. As you can see, got my plates on, the original factory plates on, all the plug welds, trying to keep all the heat off the hoses. Still got to put that side on. I started these welds, but I just can't get in from the bolts, so I got to take these bolts off. Same thing on that side. I'll throw a couple passes on, but sorry I'm not showing too much of the welding. Alright guys, got it all bolted up, painted. Sorry, I know I've been jumping around quite a bit, but just trying to get it done. Alright guys, the next step, looking to fix these cracks in the aluminum. I'm going to weld it from the inside, but first things first, I need to take this rivet off, so I just plasma cut it. And I need to knock the rivet. Actually, that one looks like it's knocked out. So that one's knocked out. But I need to just go down the line here where they're all cracked and I've cut them and knock them out. Then I can grind out the cracks and TIG weld them up. So stay tuned. All right, got the cracks all gouged out, welded up. Looks pretty good, just a little dirty, but I'll take that. So moving on to the next step here, let's put the braces on the outside. All right, guys, I've got some aluminum angle that I'm trying to fit up that's going to essentially reinforce all the way across here. But the problem is that fit up isn't good, so I modified a piece of cardboard. I really like that fit up there, so I'm gonna get my angle and cut it up at the right length, which this first piece I've already done. It's like 31 inches, just in the chop saw there. And then I took my piece of cardboard and laid it out, and now I'm just cutting it with a portaband right there. So I went a little bit over, but that doesn't matter, we're cutting it off. So just keep cutting, and that'll work good. One of the things I did figure out is the other side will be the mirror image of this, so I'll have to do another cardboard template for the other side, and the other side isn't as long, or it can't be as long. So we'll just keep going.